This is my 1977 Cadillac Seville. I haven't done a video about this car. I've owned it for 7 years or so, 8 years, almost 8 years. And it's going to be going off to getting repainted soon. And so I wanted to do a video. So this 77 Seville, I got it because my grandfather had one just like it. Exact color, exact year, exact interior. And my wife bought it for me as a gift. And so she actually bought it for me. And when I got it, it had a bad lifters and camshaft. And so we took it and had a place rebuild it. And it's been running great ever since. So this 77 Seville has all of the options on it. It has factory 8-track AM/FM 8-track, and it has a little Cadillac temperature gauge here in the mirror. And I took off some of this trim because we're going to be taking it to get it painted. So all this has to be sanded down where there was rust. I actually have all of this trim that goes around the vinyl top, and of course up here, and some of the other bits of trim, the door protectors I have, which are metal and original. And so this 77 Seville, and if you don't know about the Sevilles, they have fuel injection. And this one in particular actually runs fantastic. We did a modification for a relay for the fuel pump to the computer because that's one of the common issues that happens with these, because the fuel pump runs through the power for the computer. And so as a result of that happening, it can burn out the computer. So I sent the computer back east to a gentleman in the Cadillac Club who rebuilds them. And we did the relay thing for the fuel pump. And all these years later, so far, so good. But the interior is in very good shape. You know, there's some cracks in the seats and some discoloring, but, you know, headliner's great. All the door panels are in good shape. The dash is in good shape. I know I have a cover on it. There's actually only one crack in the top metal, and all of them I've seen get like that. I'm actually going to be buying a new piece of wood for here. But it has a climate control. It has the Twilight Sentinel. It has the 3-speed wipers along with the washing function. I actually took the 8-track out and had it rebuilt, and so it works wonderfully and sounds great. And then in the back, we have the back seat, and underneath there, the leather's in good shape. I just keep this on here for protection of the seat, but we still have the original mats and all of that. All of the power stuff works: the windows, the doors, the seats. And so Cadillac brought this out to basically fight against the Mercedes and the imports, and brought out in 1975. This first generation model became very popular, and because it was Cadillac, but yet it was smaller, and it had good pickup and go. This has a 350 Oldsmobile engine, fuel injected. And by the way, I've never had any problems starting it, even if it's been sitting for weeks. You just turn the key, it starts. And a lot of people have problems with this fuel injection. It's really not a problem. It's very basic. A lot of the parts are still available, except for you can even buy the computer still. But I don't have any problems with the fuel injection on this. It starts right up and runs fantastic. So this was made to basically fight the imports. Now, they built this on a Nova platform. And I always see a lot of people online, oh, it's a Nova, it's a Cadillac Nova, and this and that. I've ridden in a 76 Nova, which is the same thing. Very different. Very, very different. 76 Nova does not drive like a Seville at all. Now, of course, Lincoln came out with their own version, the Versailles, which I actually like those too. And down the road, I may pick up one. Most of them, sadly, have been junked because of their, I guess their rear end can be used for a Mustang or something. And so they're good. They're nice cars, but they don't have the fuel injection of a Seville. And the pickup and go, at least in my experience, is a Seville, and I've driven both. I prefer the Seville, hands down. Now, this first generation model, they stopped making at 79. Of course, they'll have the bustle back. Next generation 1980 version, which is way different from this. But Cadillac did a really good job as far as this car. It drives very well. It drives very comfortably. And it's luxurious for the time. And you can tell that they did put in a lot of effort into this car with the extending of the platform and so on and so forth. Let me go ahead and open up the engine compartment. As you guys know from watching my videos, I'm not a professional YouTuber, so my videos are not fancy, but I hope you find them informative and also seeing cars that maybe you don't normally see, because I like to get cars that are unusual. And so here is the 350 Oldsmobile engine that they put in these. Electronic fuel injection. And I got to get a new cab for this eventually, but anyway. So we've had all this out before. Well, I've replaced smog pump when you could still buy them, the AC compressor, alternator. Basically everything's been replaced. I think we did the radiator too. I don't remember. But the AC works great. I had it converted to 134. The washer bottle I actually took out of a 1980 model. I need to put a new bolt on there, but anyway, it came out of a 1980 model and it fits. Most of the bottles I was finding were cracked and really bad shape. But the fuel injection in this is not that hard to figure out. There's only a couple parts, the computer, and there's a couple parts under here that you know, you can find, and it's not that hard. But it starts right up every single time. And vehicle emission control information. And like I said, I bought this car, my wife bought it for me, I should say, as a gift, and it was going to go off to the junkyard because of the camshaft and lifters, and I think we only got it for not very much, a few $100s, I think at the most. But it also has the air pump for the shocks, which is pretty cool. And like I said, we're getting it painted soon. But all the chrome's in good shape. You know, as a California car all of its life. I have a lot of the original paperwork for it. So the mileage is real. It has 40,241 miles. And I'd believe that. I have a lot of the original paperwork for it. I am, I think, the fourth owner of this Cadillac. And of course the clock doesn't work. None of the clocks worked on these very long. And we have rear defrog, auto antenna, and of course the 8-track. I always liked on these GMs of this era how the 8-track, you push it into the radio dial. I think that was quite a design. And then under here is the computer. And I've hung under that dash several times to do some repairs and such. But let's go ahead and fire it up. There's a little ding ding. That's a bell, which is pretty cool. This is for fuel economy, so when you push on the gas pedal to go red, it's vacuum control. It'll sometimes blink a little red, sometimes, but it just depends on if you're stepping on the gas or not. And of course, the Cadillac trash can umbrella holder thing down below. But yeah, a lot of people, they say, oh, put a carburetor on it, put a carburetor on it. Well, once you have the fuel injection working properly, it runs very good, as you can hear. And it still passes emissions testing that we're forced to do here in California, which is crazy. 1976 and newer. But it still passes, just like always. I did put a new muffler on it a few years ago that just rotted out. But it's a very, very nice car. And Cadillac did a very good job making it. And it drives excellent. I'll do another video maybe of me behind the wheel driving it eventually, but it drives excellent, and it has all the things that a lot of things, at least, we have on cars today that we take for granted: power seats and air conditioning and all the power stuff. And but they did a really good job with this car. At least I think they did, taking the Nova kind of groundwork and making it into a Seville. And under the vinyl top, which we're gonna get replaced soon, there's actually a weld spot because they extended the car from a Nova to a Seville. So the first couple of years have this, and then they figured out a way to hide that seam, I think in '78. And of course, ashtrays everywhere. It's the '70s. But I love this chocolate brown color. It's called Dimitas Brown. Of course, I'm sure there's other pronunciations for it, but it's a really, I love this color once it's repainted. Body by Fisher. Which, interestingly enough, my grandma, she was born in 1920. She passed away about 12 years ago. She always looked for the Body by Fisher thing. I guess that was a very special thing back in the day. So it was fitting that someone from her generation, who would be the owner of this kind of car in that time, they would put the Body by Fisher, because that meant luxury and quality. And down below there's a fuel injection label. I've actually removed those because we're going to be doing the painting soon. So that is the '77 Cadillac Seville. Have a great day.